that's absolutely fine. I will go through, and like I said, this is kind of geared more towards using it for social media, but you can use Adobe Express for a lot of different things. So these are the, I'll need to type, oh, so am I. I'm in the library. I'm in this horrible windowless room. So yes. So these are the learning objectives to be able to create engaging motion content for social media publication, use advanced Adobe Express features to translate, resize, and schedule content for different channels, and to also link social media accounts with Adobe Express. So if there's anything that you're thinking, oh, that's not actually useful at all, please do just pop a message in the chat and I will move on. So let me just leave this presentation. What I'll do is I will pop the link to Express in the chat. Hopefully this works. Yeah. So if you click this link and then you want to log in with your Goldsmith's username and password. And the reason you should log in with your Goldsmith's credentials is because we have premium access to this online facility, which means you have access to more stock content, additional tools, and things like that. So that's really, really helpful. So I'll give you a few seconds just to do that. If you give me a thumbs up when you're ready, when you've logged in and you're on the home page. So this is the home page. You can see I've got all of my recent things down at the bottom. If you haven't created anything before in Express, then this will not appear. But we'll just do a quick tour of the interface since you're not familiar. If you've already created things, you can click on your stuff and you can see all of the things that I've created here, and I can organize these into folders. So it's really, really helpful. We've also got specific projects and libraries. And this is all linked to my Adobe Creative Cloud library service. If you're not familiar with that, don't worry, we're not going to be doing much of that today. That's a whole separate workshop. But what I do want to draw your attention to is this schedule panel down the side. And this is what we can use to basically manage all of our social media content from one place. And there are some caveats to that. So what I can do is if I click on Manage Connections, you can see all of these social media platforms. We've got Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and TikTok. And you can add up to 3 accounts on these. I'm just going to quickly go through and reconnect, which I should have done before. Now, I will say connecting Facebook and Instagram is quite tricky. It took me months to be able to do it. And that's not because of a problem with Adobe Express. It's because of the way Facebook have set up their systems. Facebook, or Meta rather, have their own management platform for Facebook and Instagram content creators. And I think they do everything in their power to get people to use their built-in tools, which means when you're using a third party kind of management tool like Adobe Express, you end up that it's quite a difficult process. So what you do need to make sure that you're doing, I just heard Teams. Hello, welcome. I'm just going through the social media integrations in Adobe Express. So the session is being recorded, so you can access it later to catch up on the first few minutes. So the way it works is with, if you want to connect your Instagram account, your Instagram needs to be connected to a Facebook page, which is what you need to log into through Facebook. And your Facebook page needs to be managed by a profile. It's all very complicated. And you need to first connect Facebook before you can then connect Instagram. Okay, and I've also connected my LinkedIn profile there as well. And I think by default it will, for data protection, for cybersecurity reasons, you have to reconnect it manually every 30 days or so. And of course, you can connect Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok, much easier to do, and those than with Facebook and Instagram. But there is plenty of documentation online on how to do that. And what this means is that now when we create some content within Adobe Express, we can actually post that direct to Instagram or Facebook or whichever profiles you have connected. And it will appear on this calendar. So if I just look at this one, I did a session a few weeks ago, and this is what was published to Instagram. This little welcome to Goldsmiths Library post. But we'll have an explore of that now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back to the home page, and we're going to keep things really basic. You can see that there's loads of stuff you can create with Express, but I'm just going to go really simple, and we're going to start with an Instagram square post. Okay, and this will create for us a new canvas. We've got our square in the middle here. Okay, if we look at the panels down the sides, this is where we can access pre-made templates. So I can just click one of these and it will pull that template in. And if you look in the corner, we've got this little crown with a tick. That's some of the premium content that we have access to through the Goldsmiths institutional login that we have. I can also use generative AI to create a custom template. So today we're going to be or the example that I'm going to use is a social media graphic for a society social event. Okay, so we're going to do invitation to at cafe meetup, and we'll press generate. And of course, it's going to take forever to do this because whenever I demonstrate, it always takes forever. Whenever I do this, like in a practice run in my office, it takes seconds. But it's fine. If there's no templates that suit our project, we can always just create something completely custom. So these are the templates that it's come up with. I can press that generate more to create more if there's none that I like. Again, nothing particularly exciting, so maybe I will just abort this option and we can go from scratch, and I'll delete all of this as well. So you can see I've deleted everything, but we've still got a background color. That is actually set up here in this background color option. So I can select a color and go to more colors down here. Maybe we want something a bit like this. Or I can click on custom and use a color picker. Let's go for something green. The last time I did this workshop was before Christmas and I made it Christmas themed. So that's why I've got green on my mind. I do have some copy in my folder over here, but I can't find it. Well, that's fine. We shall improvise. So, I've got my background. We want to add some text. We want to add some images. Okay. So if I go to text in the panel here, I can just press this big blue button up here and it creates a text box. Really, really straightforward. I can change the font. There are thousands of fonts here that I can choose from, and I can even browse more fonts. I can select them by category. using this menu here, which is quite helpful. So let's not spend ages doing this because it will eat up our time. Cafe social. We can resize this just by using these anchor points at the side of my text box. I can come over here to change the color. I think white text will look better on this darkish green background. I can manually adjust the size like this, and you can see that the text box actually will resize to fit, which is quite helpful. And I get these pink smart guides appearing, so I know when my content is aligned to the edge of the canvas or to the center of the canvas. Add another text box. So we can do when, we can do where. So let's say it's going to be this Friday, which I think is the 21st of March 2025. Where? Now, I think there is a cat cafe in Whitechapel. Definitely searched for it before. This one. So we'll just copy and paste these details over. Normal copy and paste rules apply. I can right click and press copy, right click and press paste, or I can do Control C and Control V on my keyboard. So let's just get the postcode. Is it postcode then? Oh, there. E26DG. E26DG. If I just quickly look at the map, have we got a close tube station, Shoreditch High Street? Okay. I know it's not Horthy Overground anymore, but we will improvise because I can't remember which line it is. So we can pop this text in here. Maybe I want this to be a slightly different font, maybe something a bit more readable. You know, normally when we create graphic content for social media or for print, we'll do a nice big fancy heading font, you know, something that's a little bit flashier, and then our text copy, the important information will be in something that's really clear and readable. So let's find something that's going to be easy to read, and of course, and helpfully, it's not in a traditional, go for that. A bit boring, but we can resize. And of course, I can make some of this bold to give a bit of visual interest, which is quite helpful as well. Oops. And maybe we want this to run a little bit like that. Maybe we can delete the word overground as well. Maybe we pop this down at the bottom. I don't know. Let's start adding in some content to make this look better. So we've got a few options. I can look through the media here, and I've got photos, videos, and audio. I can upload from my device. So if I've already got existing images that I've taken with my phone or the camera that are sat on my desktop, I can click this to upload from there. Or I can search for different images, and this is powered by Adobe's stock image library. thousands and millions, I think, of images. And again, you can see that we've got the premium access because we've got these icons with the crown and the tick. So to add something in, I can just click once and boom, it will appear on my canvas. I can do this repeatedly. Let's add a few different cat images. It's quite fun. And what I can do is once I have an image selected, I can resize it using these corner circular points. I can crop it down by using these sausages on each side of the image. So I can get rid of that. I don't want to bring that up there. Bring this down here. Get rid of all of this white space at the edge. And if I come over here with an image selected, I've got my Edit tab open, I can click Remove Background. And again, this uses AI to really quickly remove the background, which looks really good when I place that image over there. And I can use the same kind of process to add and remove things. So maybe since it is Easter coming up, let's do something like, let's just draw in here. And we can do a basket of Easter eggs. And I can press insert. And again, this uses a bit of generative AI wizardry. And I've got a few different options that I can pick from. Let's go with that one. And I can press keep. And then I can also remove the background. Because again, when you're doing content like this, you don't want, oh, it's not done a very good job. Now, not a problem. I can redo, actually no, if I do that, I should be able to draw that in. So what I did is I just clicked on the erase button here. I'm going to go to restore. You can see that brings back everything. And I can just click on parts of the image that have been removed. Perhaps shouldn't have been. I go back to erase. Maybe we need to make the brush a little bit smaller. That'll do. Maybe we'll pop that. We can flip the image round. Oops. Oh, for goodness sake. I didn't press save, did I? So we'll just bring that back. Same process. Oh. Done. That's better. And then what I can do is we can just do position, and then we can flip it. And then I can pop that kind of mangled area off the side of the image a little bit, like that. If I wanted to hide something, and we'll go ahead and remove the background from this as well. So just clicking that remove background. We've also got some effects, so we can colorize it in a variety of different ways. Maybe, you know, we want to have everything matching the background, or maybe we want to have a bit of contrast, so the opposite to green is kind of an orangey hue. So we can colorize the images really quickly just by going into effects. And of course, we can do something a bit custom as well. We can add some shadows, which can be quite nice. I think sometimes shadows can look a little bit 2005, but that's fine. We can also change the colors of our recoloring here. So we can select between the shadows, which are the darker parts of the image, and the highlights, which are the lighter parts of the image, and just use this slider to select those. But what I'm kind of thinking is that my background is really quite boring. So let's have a look at adjusting the background. So I've talked about the background color here. If I go down to element, I've actually got all of these design assets, which are quite nice to, to play with, but I can also add in backgrounds as well. So I can select the backgrounds tab, and we'll just do something really broad to see what we come up with, and we'll do cat. So you can see we can add in these. It's a little bit busy, I feel. We're going to have to work hard with our text to make that look good. But maybe we just want something like some paw print. Oh, that's quite cute. But again, we're going to have to work hard with our text. Maybe we go for black, but then it's a bit boring. I think we can do better. Let's go back to our menu here. Maybe I need to search for paw prints. Maybe we just add in this. Now, because I'm in the backgrounds tab, it's adding it as a background, which is fine. We can disconnect the background later. But something like this, I think, is not great as a background. So what I'm going to do, I come over here to our layers panel, and you can see the bottommost layer is our background. I should be able to disconnect it. Other set background, detach background. Okay. And what I can do is we can go to opacity, perhaps. We can change the blend mode, okay? And the blend mode will change how white and dark parts of images interact with the layer below. So you can see this image is quite a good example because it's black and paw prints on a white background. If I click multiply, it makes the white parts of the image completely transparent. If I do screen, it makes the black parts of the image completely transparent. So we'll go for multiply. It means I don't have to use generative AI to remove the background. I can also just adjust the opacity. If you want to do that. Maybe we should try colorizing it. We still want the highlights to be white. Maybe we can make these a little bit like that. Now I can rotate. We can resize. And you can see it's on top of everything. I want this to be basically a background. So over here in my layers panel, I can just click and drag to bring that all the way down to the bottom, a bit like that. And maybe what I can do is have a few bits of these, maybe in different colors. Let's get rid of our cats for now. Let's just work on the background. I can do Alt and drag. So press Alt on my keyboard, keep it pressed down, and then drag on an image to quickly duplicate it. And maybe we want to have a little bit of variation. Move that more to the middle, perhaps. We'll do the same again. Alt and drag. And every element that I add to my canvas, you can see has its own layer. Maybe we want to just add a little bit different rotation. We want it to go the other way, actually. Move it way over here and out of the way. Maybe we can make our background a little bit darker. And you can see that you can really fiddle with this all day. I mean, there might be some other cat elements or design assets that we can add in. I've just switched from background to design assets. See what comes up when you type in different things. Lots of pause. This nice kind of frame that I could utilize if I wanted. If I go to backgrounds, I've also got icons. So we've got paw print there. If I just wanted some icons, maybe what would be good if I could highlight all of this in a big paw print. Let's find something that looks relatively suitable. Maybe go for this one. And I can actually change the color of these icons. I could do a little bit like this. Resize it. Pop it down here in the corner. And again, I want my text to be on top, so I can just readjust my layers. And you see we're going to have to do, oops. You do something like that, we can press undo up here, or Control Z on your keyboard. I mean, that's looking a little bit small. Maybe that's not the way to go. I wonder if we've got any other icons that we can maybe play with, anything that's got a bit more space, maybe. It's okay if not. This is part of the creative process, seeing what works, what doesn't. I just type cat, we're going to get lots of cat faces. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's get rid of that then. Let's make this bigger. That's the size it was before. And I think this looks better when it's a bit like that. We can also kind of add in backgrounds, which can be quite good. So if I go to effects up here, again, we've got our shadows. We can also add these shapes, which are quite good. So if I wanted to just do this, which will create a bar all the way along, I can then change the color. Maybe if we stick with our green theme, you can see it just means that that kind of background image isn't running through the text box, which just makes it a little bit more readable. Remember, we're thinking about accessibility and readability. It's always quite important when it comes to creating content. Maybe I want to do the same with this, but instead of going for this kind of banner, I can just do a bit of a text highlight. Again, let's select the same color. So I can click on this little color picker icon to select exactly the same color. I can just make this a bit bigger. Maybe actually that text is big enough for the background to not interfere with it. I think if we make that text bold, let's go for heavy, that makes it stand out quite nicely. And we can make that fill the page. Okay, let's go back and add in our cats again. So we can go back to our media. Search for cat. I liked the cat popping in from the side. This was quite fun. So I'll just redo what we did before. And we want to go to remove background. And we can just pop this cat to the side. A bit like that. What I can also do is use a bit of generative AI to create an image. So I can just press that. And let's say we want to have a cat eating a sandwich in a, having a coffee. Having a coffee in a cafe. And I can do something, we want it to be a bit photorealistic. You can play around with all of these. You can upload a kind of style or composition reference. But I'm not going to go into that today. We're keeping things simple. Press generate. See what it comes up with. Sometimes this works really well, sometimes it does not. Okay, that's pretty cute, but I don't think it really fits the whatever style I've kind of got going on with my graphic here. Maybe if we change this from photo to automatic. Fair enough. We will stick to the built-in media library. Sometimes these things happen. But it's definitely worth you knowing that functionality exists. So let's add in, I'm trying to think of ones that would look good popping in from this side. Go for that one. Remove background. And we can flip it. You can see we've kind of got that orange outline from the background, which is a shame, but not much we can do about it there. And what I'm doing now is I'm just using the arrow keys on the keyboard to position stuff around. Maybe I want to move my background in, background graphics in a little bit. What I can do is I can right click and press lock, which means, oops, I can't accidentally do what I just did there and move something. You see that is now locked into place. I can't make any edits. I can't accidentally move it. So we can just do right click and do lock, which can be really helpful. Now, I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting closer to something that looks reasonably finished that I could post online. But what I can also do, which is really helpful, is if I go to upload, I can actually bring in content from other Adobe applications. So for this example, have I got there? I have got I've got a logo that I've made in Adobe Illustrator for my made-up society. So I can just bring that in. I can crop it. It looks blurry because it's uploading, but it should get there. There we are. And maybe what I would need to do is actually go into Illustrator, which is what I use to make this, Adobe Illustrator, and just make some tweaks to make this kind of stand out. It looks a little bit squished to me. I'm not sure why that is. You can see that text doesn't quite stand out as much as I would like. But if you see here, it's got this little chain link icon. If I can go into Illustrator now, let's give it a whirl. I can open Illustrator. And it doesn't matter if you haven't used Illustrator before, don't panic. But what I want to show you is the fact that this is actually linked to the Illustrator file. So if I just bring this in here, I can select my text, but it's already heavy. If I press, I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. Go way up. Something a little bit like that. Press save. Come back over here. I should get the option to update this image. Give it a name in refreshes. So if I just go back to the home page, go to my stuff, open this here. No. Oh, well. So what should happen is I should get a notification that this has been updated, and I should be given the option to update it myself within here. But for whatever reason, that's not working. I'm not entirely sure why. Perhaps I've forgotten to press something elsewhere. But you get the idea. So if you've got assets in Photoshop or Illustrator, you can just pull those directly in without having to do an import and export deal. So one last thing is when we start adding videos, what happens? So if I click on this photo here, so I'm going to use that because it's annoying me and not being quite in the middle. If I select this image here, I can go to animation, and you can see I've got an in, loop, and out. So this is the animation into the frame. This is what it does when it's in the frame. And then this is it exiting the frame. So you can see when I hover over an option, it will give me a little preview. Now I definitely want something that's sliding in. So let's go with this slide. When I select it twice, you can see that I can change the duration. So we can go for 1 second here. I can change the personality. I'm not entirely sure what this changes, if I'm perfectly honest. Let's go soft. You can do start outside page. Again, I don't really think that makes that much difference. You can change the direction as well. So if we were going to do this one, we can add in the same animation. And now that we've started adding video or motion elements to this composition, we've actually got this play preview, which has now appeared. I press edit timeline. You can see the timeline down here. And by default, it's 5 seconds long. If you've done any video editing before, you're probably familiar with the timeline. If not, then you can click on the edges to make the animation longer. So we can go up to 10 seconds. That only applies to the background. I would actually pull those up as well. I can actually reduce that top layer, which applies to whatever I've got selected. So you can see that once that is expired, it's gone. So a good use case of this is maybe I could have Cat Cafe Social, and then that could disappear, and then I have this information reappear. You know, it's up to you to kind of play around and see what you can create. But also, if I go to media, videos, I'm going to go for cat. See what we've got. I want something quite short. Ideally, it's got a whole cat in it. You can see I've got a little preview of how long they are, what they look like. Um, let's go. That's the one in the bow tie. So I can click it once and it reappears, appears in my timeline. If I go to edit, I can also do remove background on my videos as well. Because it's a video, it takes a bit longer. Oh, there we are. It has finally done it. So you can see it's done actually quite a good job of removing that background. And again, I can crop this down so that the frame matches the content. And I can resize it. We can see what this looks like. Okay. And maybe I want to have a bit of an outro for my two static cats. Then go to animation, do out, and we can just do the same as before. So now we can just preview what that looks like. That looks good. Hopefully you get the idea. I'm just going to change this text slightly. If I go to this option here, this is our line and paragraph spacing. So I can just bump that up, I think. Change this to number 1. So I can make this a little bit bigger. And maybe we're getting a little bit too busy now. You know, maybe I can get rid of this cat. Pop this cat on an angle. Okay, that is looking okay. Of course, we can add on some animations here. So maybe we want this cat to fade in and to fade out. Just so we've kind of got a bit of a loop. So that when it plays on Instagram, because of course it will loop it over and over again. It looks a little bit like it's one holistic thing. I can also add in this loop-based animation. So maybe we want to do a little wiggle like that. And if I drop it down below my text, like that, hopefully my text here will cover the yeah, if I just pull this image down slightly. Again, we've got some sliders we can play with. So yeah, let's pull it down, maybe resize it a little bit so it takes up a bit more of the image. Okay, it's looking slightly chaotic, but that's fine. So now that we are done, I've pressed save because I've given it a name. It will just save things automatically when that cloud icon is there, even if it's not titled something useful. If I come up here, I can press download and it's detected that there's video content, so it knows that an MP4 is best for downloading. If it's static, then it will suggest a PNG or a JPEG. We can pick our resolution. So 1080p is going to be the best for most social media projects, because when you upload any video onto a social media site, it does compress it, so you lose quality. That's why sometimes things look a bit pixelated. I can also add a collaborator by clicking up here. So you can pop in Goldsmith's email addresses and people will appear in this list. But what I want to do is I'm going to go to share because I've already set up my social media, and I can go to schedule post and I can select my channel. Let's go for Instagram. I can select the type of post it is. So we've got our grid post, a reel, or a story. Generally, if you're going to do a story post, I would suggest doing that on a mobile device. It really is optimized for use on a mobile phone or a tablet. Stories created in Instagram and stories for Instagram created in Adobe Express do not look good. We can pop in a caption. Join us for our monthly at cafe social. We can add emojis. We can add hashtags. We can even use generative AI to create a caption for us. We can also pop in our first comment, which is really useful. And then, of course, we can schedule this post for later, or we can publish it now. Okay, so if I press preview, I get something to show me what it will look like. I saw that it was 10 seconds long, which is a little bit concerning. I'm just going to go back in and edit it. Pull this back down to 5 seconds, otherwise we'll be here all day waiting for it to upload. Cool. So we'll just do same process, share, schedule post, Instagram. Join us for our social. Publish now. It's going to take some time to upload. While this is doing that, please do think of some questions. We've got about 5 minutes left. I'll just press publish now. And now it'll probably take forever to post, but I can go and look at the progress in my calendar. Or maybe here to my calendar, I can see it says it's publishing here. Hopefully in the next minute or so it will publish. One thing I haven't shown you, which I might just show you quickly. If I just duplicate this. Is there is actually quite a decent translation tool. So I can press translate up here. And I can pick from a variety of different languages. Let's go with Hindi. Not sure what this is going to sound like. There isn't that much text there, but there we are. So it's created a translation in Hindi. I mean, I think this is just a literal translation rather than the actual words. I know what the Hindi word for cat is, and it's not cat, which is what that says. But these words down here are a bit more of an actual translation rather than a transliteration. So it has variable success. But if we go back to here, click on the schedule, still says publishing. Do a quick refresh. It says it's published. Let me have a quick look on my Instagram to see. And there it is. Posted direct with my caption. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat, or you can ask them by unmuting yourself. I will stop sharing that now. And if you don't have any, when you lock the paw prints, would you have been to unlock it again? Yes, absolutely. Once something is locked, it's not locked forever. So if I click back on here, I go to my paw prints. I know it's locked because it's got this grey box around it, instead of a sort of a kind of a bluish purpley box. I just right click and I just click on lock. And there we are. It's turned it back into something that can be changed or edited. Does that answer your question? Fab. Right. So if there's no more questions, I've got a little survey that would be really great if you could fill in. I'll pop the link in the chat. Completely anonymous, but it just helps me continue to develop these sessions for future. And like I say, you can use Adobe Express for so many other things, not just social media. It is useful for social media because you can use the calendar and publish things directly from here, which saves a lot of time. But you can also use it to make web pages, make presentations, CVs, all sorts of different stuff. If you go back onto the home page, I'm not sharing the screen anymore. The calendar bit is a lifesaver. It is very, very useful. But like I say, using it for stories and reels is a little bit, sometimes it's a bit fiddly, and it doesn't look great. You know, I think a lot of the time when I do a bit of social media management for charities in my spare time, and creating stuff on the phone for stories is so much easier than trying to do it on Express. But just for grid posts, it really does save a lot of time. So thank you for coming, and I shall hope to see you at other workshops in the future. And the recording will be available to you not long after the meeting ends. So please feel free to refer to it in future, and it will also be uploaded to YouTube, but your personal details will be removed. So thank you very much, and I shall see you later.